Welcome back to another episode of the Blaklist Podcast. On today's episode, we are joined by Jehry Robinson, a talented musician signed with N9ne's Strange Music. Jehry has worked with some of the pioneers of hip-hop industry, carving out his own unique path in the music world. We'll dive into his journey, the experiences that shaped him, and what led him to where he is today. This episode, along with a host of other inspiring stories, can be found at the blacklistpodcast.org. Without further delay, Jehry Robinson. The point of fellowship, we just destined for a prophecy. When nobody else can see you, I want you to know you are loved. Now we're starting at 3, 2, 1. Jehry, welcome to the show, bro.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you, man, for taking some time out of your night to hop on with us. We're definitely grateful and blessed, man, to have you on.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, I've been following you for a minute, and I know we were talking off camera before. You know, I reached out beginning of the year, and somehow it got lost, but we made it happen. So I appreciate you guys working with us and scheduling. And I would have loved to do this in person. We try to do as many of these in person as we can, but with everybody traveling, it doesn't always work.
Yeah, we can always do it. We can always do it again, man. We can run it back. You know what I mean? I'm around. We're about to do a tour, so we'll be around everywhere.
Oh, 100%. We'll definitely do that. But yeah, man, I'm excited to talk with you. You know, I know you got a new album coming. I know you got music we want to talk about. We're definitely excited. Brianna will be back in when she gets back in. But dude, thank you again. Thank you for just coming on.
100%.
So how long have you been doing music for?
Man, as far back as I can remember, dude, I'd say probably around 15 years total. When I was about 13, 14 is when I really actually recorded a song. I remember I saved up money and went to a studio when I was around 14. So yeah, man, probably 15 years or so out here just grinding, dude, just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how fast time goes by when you think about it.
Crazy.
I wrote my first song at 13, 14. I'm 35 now, almost 36. And it's like, I've been doing music 20 something years on and off. And it's not until now at 35 years old that shit finally takes off, and it's just like, holy crap. It's insane. The way social media works these days now, and how, back in the day, you used to CDs and it would be so hard to market yourself, but now you can do everything without a label. I mean, obviously, Tech, I grew up on obviously N9ne, and seeing him being like the number one independent artist in the world, it just goes to show that you don't need a major label to do that.
Definitely not, man. It's definitely a new world. You know what I mean? It's it used to have way more steps involved. I think it's a simpler process to just give your music to the world, all the way down to record music in the studio. I mean, I tell people all the time, if you got a MacBook, and you could, save up for a microphone and an interface, $2,000 got you a studio, and you never have to get studio time ever again, essentially. So yeah, it's a different world than it was back in the day, man, for sure.
When did you sign with Strange?
2020.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know it's been a minute. So, I mean, we'll just hop in real quick. So how did that come about? Because I'm always intrigued to always hear how people especially sign deals like that.
Yeah, essentially, I'm from New York. So in New York, we were building, probably from 2017 was when I released my first project completely independently. And we were building for, a few years, just selling out shows. We got to the point where, people were actually coming. We were, selling merch and kind of just figuring everything out. So the idea of Strange really came about. It was one night after a sold out show in my hometown, and I was pacing around just thinking, it went from 300 people coming to a show was the most miraculous thing that ever happened to me. And my life was changed. And I really knew at that moment, this is my calling. I'm quitting everything else. I'm going all in. But after you do that 2 or 3, 4 times, and it's like, all right, well, we still got the same amount of people coming. We got, not much growth, right? In that year or two, it's like we kind of just stayed at the same spot locally. And although we were kind of popping in my hometown, I was just like, how are we going to scale this and get to the next level? So I just typed into YouTube, man. I typed in like inspirational music stories and hip hop stories, and I'm watching like Master P and Jay-Z and Russell Simmons, Def Jam. I'm obsessed with Rick Rubin and all that, and I came across Strange on YouTube. They had this 3-minute documentary from Forbes at the time, and I wasn't that versed in tech and Strange. I didn't even know what Strange was. I knew of N9ne, but I didn't know what Strange music was, and when I seen their little documentary, dude, I got so inspired that I devoted every day to waking up like I need a meeting with these guys, and they're gonna understand my vision. They're gonna see what I'm on, and that's how it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like that's just like my delusional mind of like once I get in the room with these guys, we're gonna take over the world together. And it took probably 6 to 8 months of just relentlessly DMing, emailing, calling the assistant. My fiance, my girl at the time, became my manager, and we started up our own company because that's the only way to do it, right? In order to get to a record contract or get in anyone's face, it's like you got to build something on your own. So we have built Famous by Association, which is FBA right here. And that's like our brand, our company, our clique, whatever. And we just wanted to scale up. So I figured we got to get this meeting. She every day relentlessly hit them up. I hit them up. And then eventually they went through, they saw what we were doing. They checked out our socials and stuff. And we wound up getting the meeting. And once we got the meeting, I went out to Kansas City from New York. I don't think I left. I mean, we stayed. We clicked, and everything actually came to fruition in that way, which is insane and very rare. So it actually really happened the way I thought it would. And within like 2 or 3 months, I signed to Strange, and we wound up doing the debut out there.
No, that's badass.
Oh, that's awesome,
You manifested that,
Right, for sure. And not always is that the case. I actually break people's balls for talking about manifesting in that way of like, you get like manifesting is probably it's important and it's real. And, you have to start there and you have to envision something, but that's probably 10% of it, right? The rest of it is like actually
doing it.
Yeah, actually doing it. So and I never want to misconstrue that because there's like a lot of younger kids are on this like I'm gonna manifest and like they're gonna sit on their phone and scroll on Instagram and TikTok all day and then everything's gonna occur, right? And they're just gonna watch videos about manifesting. Like that's definitely something that's misconstrued. So I don't like to say it in that way, but yeah, man, it's we started with that idea of like here's how this is gonna go down and here's how I believe it's gonna go down. And it did, for once, 1 out of every 300 things that you manifest may come true. You know what I mean? So it was kind of one of those things. But also, they had seen what we were doing and they see the vision. That was the most important thing. They see that we were building something and they were into it and they got behind it, which was crazy.
Right. You were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say some people look at manifesting as a noun, but it's a verb. It's not just a thing, it's an action.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between people that are just sitting there scrolling on their phone and people that actually
are doing something.
Yeah, actually, get what they manifest. It's the difference between it being a noun or a verb.
Yeah. I love that. I never heard anyone say it like that, but that's exactly what I was basically just into is you gotta do it.
And you gotta want it too. Like you gotta like I agree, the younger generation these days is I don't want to like talk shit and say like they're entitled, but like nobody wants to work for it, and it's like you got to grind for it every day. I mean, I work a full-time job and then I come home and then I have a studio at the house and then I'm recording till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's like a constant grind, it's not like you're just sitting there well, hopefully one day, you know, it's going to take off. Like, no, you have to do it. And that and your story right there, you know, even with just signing with Strange is, you know, it shows that
Right.
you put your mind to it and actually grind. You do it.
It could happen. And it's, you know, one step further than that is like, well, we manifest, right? And we say we want to be a singer or a rapper or an actress or an actor, whatever it is, right? And people are so vague about what they want. And they're like, oh, well, I want to be famous. I want to be rich, right? And if you could pinpoint exactly what you want to do, I always say, like, if you were trying to get somewhere, if you were trying to go to uh, be in a movie or act in LA, it's like you wouldn't put Los Angeles into your GPS. And then when you get there, okay, you're in Los Angeles, dude, where are you going? So a lot of people kind of do that where it's like they put this idea in the GPS of their manifestation, if you will, and it's not specific enough. We need an address. We need the exact location of where you want to go. And in this case, it was I want a meeting with Strange Music, with Travis O'Coin and Tech N9ne. That was it. And like there wasn't like a maybe we'll do it. It was like this is what I'm looking to do. And these are the people I'm looking to do it with. And then, you know, I always say this, it's like I don't care if it's the president of the United States. Like no one is more important than me. You know, no one, and that's what FBA is, our company. It's like no one is more important than you in not in a cocky way, in a way of like we're all famous. That's why it's famous by association. No one should ever make you feel like they don't have time for you, that you're less than. Everybody's equal. Instead of we're all nobodies. We're all the best. We're all the most the most elite. And you know, again, manifesting that, bringing that into the world. And now we have, you know, even on the FBA end, we have thousands and thousands of people that, you know, they call it family by association. They kind of renamed it. And it's like, we're all a giant family that all have similar beliefs. And the more people who believe it, the realer it is, right? If everybody believes it, if you can convince people that that's what it is, if you got 100 people, cool. If you got 500,000, now I got rooms where we sell hundreds of tickets in all these cities and all these people actually believe it. So I don't know if I'm the greatest or I was just good at convincing everybody that this is what it is, you know, and that's kind of where we at this point. We're going out on tour and we see people with yay tattoos and they just feel that energy, you know what I mean?
It's working. Whatever you're doing is working. So
one of my friends went to a Jelly Roll concert in like the spring of 2021, and there was about 100 people there.
Yeah.
And then you look at now.
Like, you know, I gotta start somewhere. You just don't give up.
Yeah, you know. Jelly's just did his debut album for the world, and he's got 26 albums. You know, that's something that a lot of people don't understand. That was his debut. That was his debut country album, right? And he just did his sophomore or whatever second album, his second country album. But I think there's 26 or even more than that.
Some people think he just came around, but no, he's been around.
Yeah, he's 40 years old. You know,
he didn't give up.
Yeah, he got smacked in the face every single day. He got smacked in the mouth. Every time he woke up, every time he had a show that got canceled, every time he couldn't get this or didn't do this, it's like constant failure. Like there's a certain breed of person that could get literally zero results every day and continue to just wake up and go just as hard. Like that's it. Like I had zero results for 10 years. And like people, I remember like family members were referring to me doing music as like a heroin addiction, where it's like, bro, this is ruining your life. This is ruining your life. You're not financially able to do things. You know what I'm saying? I would just like work somewhere. I'd hustle money and then I'd be like, cool, I got enough money to pay my rent for a little bit. Like I come from nothing, dude. So it's like we didn't have the means to take time and go in the studio for 2 weeks straight and make an album, right? So when you're doing that, it's like you're neglecting all of the adult things that people expect you to do. And then you're just looked at as a douchebag. Like you're looked at as an idiot. And you have to be able to like absorb all that from friends, family, and just be like, cool, I'm here. I'm trying to go here to point B. And that's it. The rest of it doesn't matter. I'm on my way to point B. I don't care I appreciate people for their concern sometimes, but I don't give a shit, dude. Like, I'm not trying to be you, and you haven't done what I'm trying to do. So I just opened up for Jehry Roll last week. That's the homie. And watching what he's done, it's on the same level, man. Like, that guy actually has done what I'm looking to do. So if he says, yo, you're fucking up, yo, you shouldn't do this, I'm gonna really, really consider that okay, he's doing what I'm looking to do. Very rarely do you meet someone that's doing 25, 30,000 people sold out every single night. And unless you are, I appreciate your concern and your advice, and I will take it, and I'm humble enough to absorb it. But frankly, you're not, you haven't done it, so you don't really understand what it takes, and you don't really, your opinion is here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So looking at it like that, and then it's like, how many people have done that? Not a lot. And how do you align yourself and be around those people, right? As much as possible.
Did you ever think back when you first started doing music? I mean, I know this the question, everybody asks these questions, but it's like to think about when you first started to like now, like that you'd be opening up for Jehry Roll and that you would be signed with Strange and with Tech, like your life where it is now.
Every day, if anything, yeah, I thought I'd be way further along. Man, where's my granddad? I'm almost there. I'm getting there. I'm next year, if not next year, the year after. I thought that every day. And the only reason, when I was, homeless and been around with absolutely nothing, the only reason I got up and got to work and kept grinding is because I did know. I thought, like, yo, this is all. It's a knowing. It's a knowing, and like, if you have that knowing, then you will. That's enough to keep going. Again, like I said, you have that knowing, and then 5 years goes by with zero success. Well, most people would say that they were wrong. That knowing, they start doubting that knowing, right? I've always known this is what I'm supposed to do. So it wasn't a question, but yeah, it looks crazy, delusional. I was willing to lose every relationship. I'm willing to sit there in a cardboard box if I got to and lose every single thing. Because I was looked at it like, hey, when I get to that point, I'm going to call them and they'll come back. They'll come back. Everybody will come back. If they hate me right now or they don't agree with me right now, I'm not, and not to say I was hurting anybody, but I'm only hurting myself in that, to be like, I'm betting it all on me. And even right now, it's I'm taking a risk every day. It's like, I just understand that there's a certain point that I want to go to. And there's not one person in the world that could ever interfere with that. So yeah, I always thought it. And I think that that's the key, is to constantly know where you want to go and think, this is what I'm worth it. I'm worth that. I'm good enough. And if I'm not good enough, then I'm a work hard. That's it.
You said it right too. Like, I'm worth that. You're worth it.
It's funny that you said that, though, that you answered that way, because most people don't answer that way. Most people are, when you ask them, would you ever picture yourself doing X, Y, and Z? They're like, no, like never in a million years would I ever picture that. So the difference between you and them is that, just like Brianna said, and you said it, you know what you know your grind, you know where you want to be at.
Well, most people who are doing that will actually probably answer in the way I just answered. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that belief right there is like, and by the way, that's not like I wake up that positive every day. I'm talking severe depression. I'm talking suicidal thoughts. Everybody hates me. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a dumbass. I wasted my whole life and I have nothing to show for it every day. And then just when you think that good thing is going to happen, and it's been planned out, and everything's, you can't wait to announce it. The day before it was supposed to happen, you get a call. It's not happening. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. They went a different direction. They're not going to use your song. They're not going to do this. So, it's not as simple as saying like, that is the only, not that positivity is the only thing. It's like, no, we're talking about dealing with that depression, dealing with those thoughts of, wow, maybe everyone's right. Every single day thinking maybe everyone is right. And then having the strength to be like, no, actually, that's not true, right? So it's not just automatically going. Also, we could train. Our brain is a muscle, no different than your arms or getting a six pack, right? You develop a six pack. You got to go to the gym. You got to work on it, sculpt it every day. Our brain has the same function as that. When we start thinking of something, whether it be negative or positive, every time you have a negative thought, these two cells come together. Every time you have a positive thought, these two cells come together. The more you think in either direction, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. Mm-hmm. So if you start thinking good tip I would say, if you have something in your life that you are looking forward to, whether it be a vacation, seeing an old friend, doesn't have to be financial, it doesn't have to be just something that you're looking forward to that's a week or two away. And you're excited, like, oh, Friday, when I get out of work, I'm going to do this, right? If you can constantly, when you have a bad day, when you have that bad thought, when you're feeling depressed and you're in that moment, train your brain to, as soon as you have those negative thoughts, go, okay, well, Friday I'm doing that. Friday I'm going to the concert. It's going to be the best day ever. I'm going to see my cousins that I haven't seen in years, whatever it is. Keeping yourself on that and holding yourself accountable to be like, wait, I don't deserve to have that thought. I'm not a piece of shit. And then it's like, well, your mom says you're a piece of shit. Your brother says that. Your sister says that. Everyone feels like you are the worst person in the world because, you need to do better in life. You're not succeeding. You're not doing anything. You're not being productive. But if you know you are, and you're like, no, I just need you. I just made 2 songs and they're amazing. And it's like, you want to listen to them? And it's like, I got to a point where people are like, no, I don't care, dude. Like, you got to go, you got to figure it out, bro. You know what I mean? So just training yourself to think positive it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's probably the hardest thing in the entire world. And once you could capture that, once you could learn how to do that, and the people that I've met that have the success I want, I feel like everyone has some way of doing what I just said, and just not allowing that to it's going to seep in, right? The negative is going to seep in at some point, but not allowing it to just own your whole day. Just
yeah.
Keep it a little bit and be like, I'm on to the next. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you got to surround yourself. You got to surround yourself. With the people that you want to be. If you're in a room full of 5 millionaires, you better be the 6th one. That's the way it is. Is you just got to constantly surround yourself with people that have the same mindset as you. To keep going.
Agreed. And a lot of times people, when they get to a certain position, like there's certain rooms I walk in where, people make me out to be cooler than I am. And sometimes I start believing that shit. I'm like, damn, I'll go speak on a panel for, I just spoke on a panel. It was like 50 kids and they're all trying to be artists and stuff. And a lot of them were fans and they're all asking me, how'd you do it? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I haven't really done what I want to do at all. I'm just getting started, right? So I don't really feel like I'm in a position to tell you the ways of the world because I don't have what I want yet. But they start making me believe, wow, man, I'm inspirational, this kid. So let me uphold that, right? But I'm the coolest guy in this entire room. I feel so cool. I feel like I'm the coolest guy in the room. And then getting used to that is scary. So as soon as I feel like I'm the coolest guy in the room, I make sure I go hang out with Jehry Roll and realize I'm not doing shit. And next night, you're like, move over, Jehry Roll's walking, get the hell out of the way. I'm like,
yeah,
sorry,
you're like,
no one knows who I am. And I'm a nobody in this room. And now I got to work hard. Because although I could have just stayed in the room I was in the night before and felt like the coolest, you know what I'm saying? So as soon as I feel comfortable, I get scared. As soon as I'm like, man, right now, I bought a home. I have a nice home, and like I said, I just went from apartment to apartment. I was renting and struggling and trying to figure it out, and always felt like, my whole life was like from being an adult from 18. It's like I'm going to get evicted every month, right? Every month is going to be, I don't know how I'm going to obtain this rent to stay in here. And then, lately it's like, okay, I have a house now and I own a house and I feel pretty damn good about myself and I feel calm. So I just sold my house. I leave on Friday. I just sold it. I'm out of it. I'm going to a new city because I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable here. I found a little world that I'm living in and I feel pretty comfortable. It feels like I could stay here, but I'm not where I want to be. So why would I stay somewhere that I feel comfortable at? But it's like, well, I might get so comfortable here that I don't become who I know I am. So even in today's day, like I'm literally leaving Friday. I'm scared right now. My whole house is empty. I just emptied everything. And everyone's like, why would you leave? Why would you do this? Everything's going so good. I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. So if I have opportunities to go other places and do other things, I'm going to just take those opportunities and try to grow and be around those people we were just talking about, right? If I have an opportunity to be around more people that have what I want, then I'm going to do that, make myself uncomfortable, figure out a new living situation, go to a new city, make completely new friends. I got to go create a whole new environment for myself right now. So I'm a little nervous. I'm like, damn, what? I've been staying up. That's surprised, man. Why am I doing that? Why don't I just stay and relax and try to be calm for once? And I'm not calm because I know I'll truly never be at peace until I want a number one record. I want a number one record. I want the number one song in the entire world. And I'm a producer. I'm a writer. I'm an engineer. I'm a mixer. I'm a masterer. I'm a rapper. I'm a singer. So I just gave myself, instead of just saying one thing, like I'm a rapper, right? I just heard all of those things because it gives me a better shot at my dream, which is having a number one record. I might be the producer of that record. I may have wrote that record for someone else. Maybe I just engineered it, but I need to get a plaque with the number one record. So I haven't done that. So I haven't, that's it. That's what I got to do. I wake up every day. How do I get a number one record? What's the move? Where I got to go? Who I got to talk to? How much work do I got to do? That's it. So that's really it.
Setting goals, make a plan, and staying consistent. But man, you said some things, Jehry. Man, I want to ask you about I know right now you're on the stage of starting to hit big stuff and do things like you said, opening up for Jelly Roll. So, but I heard some stuff in the beginning, man. You said something about maybe being homeless. You had some struggles at the beginning. Like, how did you work through that? Keep pushing yourself to be a better person each and every day, like with those struggles.
Yeah, I think it's just mentally training yourself, going back to what I said, earlier, like being able to just not let that submerge your entire brain, being able to just feel those things, have those feelings, accept the reality of that. Definitely, you don't want to be in denial about where your life is, and you don't want to be in denial about how bad shit is sometimes, but you need to be able to accept that and then really, really push. And it takes everything that you have. That's the difference. It's not like, oh yeah, well, just do it. You do it. No. It takes every morsel of your being sometimes. Go to the studio even to get into the studio or write a song or do whatever. When you're having the worst day ever, that is when you should do your passion or whatever it is you're trying to do. That is when you should apply it the most, on the days that are the worst, where you feel like I cannot make a song right now. You know what I mean? I got nothing in me. Push, and strong. Mental toughness. That's really it. Mental toughness and not letting your mind win, because it's really easy to spiral and be depressed.
Oh, bro, 100%. Like, I agree with you. There's days, bro, that we've done this podcast, and Swag knows, man. There's days, man, that I am checked out. I don't want to fucking do it. Like, my day has been as bad as it can be. I'm like, I really don't want to go record right now. I don't want to sit down with this person, blah, blah. And nothing against the person, but it's just situation. And then we do it. And then it's like, bro, like that was the best thing that I could have ever decided to do. That it completely made me think about new things, this, that, the third. So I fully support that.
Well, even what you said, like, how do I do it? Or what's the best ways? Like you just said, the push is everything. And sometimes it's even a push, like, go out somewhere, and if there's anywhere you can go, and a lot of people always go to money. Like, money is so funny to me. It's like, oh, I can't do that. I don't have money. Do you know how many things you can do, even to help your mental, that don't cost any money, and people do not do that? Like, it's like, well, I'm out of straight because I can't go to the gym. It costs money. Do jumping jacks right now. Get up out of your seat and
go for a walk.
Jumping jacks. Stop. So just excuses, man. Just excuses. People make excuses, and it's ridiculous, because it's like, why do we do that? We want it. It's almost like certain people want to stay in that space. They want to stay there, and you'll be like, no, I don't. But it's like, if you didn't, then you would just get up right now and do jumping jacks to lose weight, or go to the studio, or go paint your painting, or whatever it is you're doing. Do more of it. You're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. The reason you're not winning is because you are not going hard enough. And he's like, well, this person, they just put out a song and the song went viral. That's not you, homie. That's not you. You gotta put in, oh, well, it might take you another 10 years. And if you're 30, maybe look at Jelly. Jelly Roll is 40. When he was 30, he was nowhere near where he was. You know how hard it is to go out there at 32, 33, 35 and get paid no money to be an opener and spend all your money and live in a van at your mid-30s with a child? You know how hard that is? It just from the social construct of it, the people that are going to look at you and be like, oh, man, what is he doing? But that man knew. He didn't kind of know. He didn't say, maybe this is it. That's his do or die. That was the only thing he was going to do. You know what I mean? So that's why he's there. So don't look at it like he had all the talent in the world and he was just incredible. No, he's there because he literally didn't give up and did it when it was way harder than a lot of people would ever even think. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So all right, let's talk about, you got this new album coming out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It's definitely the best music I have ever made. I have really, really gotten to a point where I think I'm not, it's crazy because I'm going to say this, it's a work in progress, and that's hint on the name of the album. So I'm not giving you the name of the album, but I will say the album is a work in progress. And it's a work in progress, but I think it's like the last piece of, the work that had to be done. I think I finally found my sound because I never wanted to be considered a rapper, or I never wanted to be considered, a rock star. I just wanted to make my own music and have it be definitive, like that's Jehry Robinson song. That's what he does. So I think I finally did that, and I've never been more excited to get. Usually I hype it up, like I want to tell everyone that oh, you got to check it out. But I'm not doing that with this because I'm so confident that when people hear it, my last album has over 10 million streams. That means 10 million people have listened to it and resonated with it. And I think that my only goal right now is to make sure those people who listen to it feel like this is an upgrade and this is something, a progression of that. And I feel so confident that I don't want to say too much. I just want to say that it's my favorite. It's my favorite part of doing it is to release the music, man. I love touring. I love being on the stage. I love being in the studio. But there is no better reward than the day I put an album out. You know what I mean? That is like my favorite day. And whether, the response is good, bad, and different, just giving it to the world and being like, guys, here it is. That's my favorite thing. So that is right around the corner, man. We're close.
Okay.
Well, you found your niche and you're being authentic, bro. That's the thing about it, man. Once you get your authenticity nailed in and dialed in, bro, like you just said, it's not even being cocky. Like you said, it's just being straight confident in what you got to do and finding your music and what touches your soul. And then that's when you come out and be like, man, this is the best music I just made. So I'm excited to hear it, bro.
That's real shit. I appreciate you saying that. And that's like, when you're authentic in that way, it's dope because it's like, you can't really ever lose that because I'm just me. And if people co-sign that, and if people get behind me as a person, then I just gotta be me and I'm good. I don't have to keep up any facades. I don't have to lie. I don't have to act like I'm something not. I don't have to put on a crazy outfit every time I go on the stage with sparkly shoes and shit. I could just be like, bro, this is me. I'm a mess sometimes. I'm insecure sometimes. I'm depressed sometimes. I'm a goofball sometimes. Sometimes I do things I'm like, man, I'm so stupid. But I don't try to hide that. If I drop, like sometimes on the stage, man, my people like, hey, Jehry, your shoes are untied. Like, who goes out in front of 5,000 people to tie their shoes? So instead of being embarrassed about that, I'll be like, hold up, y'all, let me tie my shoes real quick. And I'll put the microphone down and I'll go tie my shoes. Everybody would laugh. And I'm not afraid because I'm like, I'm stupid sometimes. I got to tie my shoes, man. That's something that like, maybe earlier on, I would have been like, had an anxiety attack about. Everyone's like, dude, you're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, just be real. Be real. Be yourself.
It wasn't perfect, you know. You're stressing out because it wasn't perfect. Now you're just being authentic. We had another artist come on here, Jerry, and do the same thing. Damian Styles. He was about to release his record, and then he told us on our podcast, live on our podcast, that he wasn't releasing it. It wasn't really him, and it was like 6 months later, wasn't it? Jay?
No, it was almost a year later.
Yeah, about a year later before his album came out, because he's like, "This is not really me. I want to write an authentic album," and he did, man. And that's the coolest thing. And he reminds me of that. Once you find your niche, once you find your thing, once you're confident and you're authentic, it has nothing to do about cockiness in life, man. It's just about being straight confident and pushing, and that's exactly what you're doing. Because just like you said, when you're in the room with people, when people look at you and you feel like hey, I'm the shit, right? And then you go stand, and then you know you got to check yourself, Jerry. So what do? You go stand with somebody. Hey, when you look at them, they speak to you, and they're open up for 35,000 every night, or whatever it is, 20, 30,000. You're like thinking, hey, this is what I want. This is what's going to drive me to be the best musician I can be. And that's the thing, man. Being confident, being authentic, just being you.
And I think you only get to be around those people too after putting in a certain amount of work and building certain respect, right? So like everybody is scared of clout, especially in hip hop. Like hip hop, the culture sometimes really bothers me. The idea of the way people act. There's a lot of inauthenticity in hip hop where people are just full of shit all the time. I can't do it. Like I don't really, I just don't really align with like a lot of the hip hop culture, and then you see like Diddy or whatever, and you're like, wow, this is even worse than I thought. Like, these dudes are, acting like the hardest gangsters and shit, and then they're doing crazy weird stuff. So it's like, I at the end of the day really just know if I build yourself and you get to a point. People are scared of the word clout, especially in hip hop. The word clout is the worst thing, clout chasers or whatever, right? But clout, if you define it, it means respect from people you respect. So why are we scared to chase clout? People are like, yeah, that chick's a clout chaser. Get away from her, or this person is dead. Dude, I'm a clout chaser. When Jelly Roll or Tech N9ne says, yo, respect, I love your new album, I love what you're doing, you've really come a long way. That's clout. That's clout. People respect me because they're like, man, Tech N9ne respects this guy, and Jelly Roll respects this guy. So when that happens, it's like, yeah, that's amazing. So we live in a culture where it's like clout is bad, and then I look up clout, I'm like, no, that's what you need. You want respect from the people you respect,
Yeah.
You got to work for that.
It's got a bad name, just like you said, from people, just like Diddy doing what he's doing. And then the thing you think about it, it's like, man, Cloud just got a bad name in the last few years. I'm 47 years old, man. I've been around a long time. Been in the game, all this stupid shit for years and years. And then I think back when someone said Cloud, like you said back in the day, I mean, it wasn't a negative comment back then.
Right. It was like, yeah, we got clout, that guy.
Yeah. You're like, man, this dude's got some clout, bro. And then now it's like, oh, you're a clout chaser, and it's like you don't want to chase respect. And the coolest thing for me, like you said, and I always remember what my mom and dad told me, man, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You are what you hang around with. If you hang around with 10 millionaires, you're gonna become the 11. It's just it's how you put yourself in ways to make yourself a better person, man.
But those 10 millionaires are not going to fuck with you if they don't see that potential in you, right? It's hard to get in a room with 10 millionaires. Because if you can even get to that point where you got 10 friends who are millionaires, your odds of success just quadruple. Because when you go, when you might have that moment where you lose it all, because that's another thing too. People like us are not afraid to lose it all. Like I'm not afraid. Like I said, I bought this house and it took me so much to get it. It took everything, my whole life of work to be able to afford it. And I'm getting rid of it, man. I'm out of here. I just sold everything I own. I'm out of here. I'm not afraid to redo it. I'm not afraid to get it back because that is, fear is the worst thing known to man. There is no what Tech and Travis O'Gwen taught me at Strange, one of the biggest things is there's no ROI, there's no return of investment on fear. It literally is the most useless feeling to have. Like if you have confidence, ambition, right? Those are great things. But fear, why would you ever have that? What does that ever bring you? Nothing. So having any sort of fear is, I would say, probably 90% the reason why most people are not successful and most people don't do. And when I say that, that's not rude. It's just there's the 1% in America. There's 99% of people that are, run of the mill and trying to make it and trying to, get by, and that's commendable. And a lot of those people are on their way to the top. But there's 1% of people in America that are considered the top, right? So it's like you could say fuck the 1%, and then you could start a whole campaign, or you could just get out here and try to get to it and be the 1%. People like fuck the billionaires, fuck the elites, and I really think I'm like, well, yeah, fuck them, but we all feel that way. But I want to become one, not so I could do evil things, so I could actually be in the room and make some change, right? Elon Musk said it takes $8 billion to make any significant change in America. Do I think we make $8 billion? No, but who's to say? I don't know. It's like, I'm going to work towards it. If I'm 80 years old, I'm going to still be like, yeah, I'm trying to get to that point, man. I'm like, there's always something you could be doing. There's always the next chapter. And a lot of people, they don't view it that way, and they get comfortable. And, at the end of the day, if you're happy, like if you have the bare minimum and you are happy and you are in a good mood and you're good to your family and you're just like, content with everything, then you won. Then you're a winner. Then you're a success. It don't matter about it. If you make 30 grand a year, that 30 grand a year is enough for you to feed your family, and you smile every day and you love your job, and you might be a teacher or something. You're rewarded by the inspiration you give to the kids. That's one thing. But if you're doing that and you're making X amount of dollars and you are not happy and all you want is to be somewhere else, well, then you're not doing it. You're not doing enough. Like you said, you got a 9 to 5, and then you go home and you record, and you go in the studio. That's it. Keep going. Keep doing that. But if you love your 9 to 5 and that's it, and it's enough for you, then God bless you. You're successful. You made it already.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. So I got to ask about the album real quick before we move on from that. Is Afro Man going to be on it?
No. Afro Man is not going to be on the album, but stay tuned. I have some really special things going on with Afro Man.
I think I seen you throw a picture up on IG with him. So
yeah. Definitely the homie. Definitely love him. And definitely going to be working on some stuff, but he won't be on this particular album. No. Good question.
Yeah. I was like, man, I got to, he's the OG,
OG Afro Man, that's the bro.
Yeah. Any big features you can talk about, or anybody that's on the album?
There is some big features on the album. Incredible artists that I am really looking forward to. And not just yet, but I will give you that. Yeah, there is some collaborations on there that I think are going to be really exciting. And I'm shocked that they even were interested in being on my album. So yeah. But I can't say this. All this will be out soon, though. All this. All right. Yeah, I'll give you that. There is some good features on there for sure.
That's what's up.
Well, we heard it first. So it's coming.
Yeah, you heard the first. I heard it first.
Hey. When are you running the tour?
So we leave on the 14th. The first show is in Lawrence, Kansas. I will be out with my homie Atlas. If you haven't heard of Atlas, man, he's incredible. And what's really dope about this tour is I feel like I am expanding from hip hop right now. That's something that, is a conscious thing. And this guy is pop country artist, and I have an opportunity to, do a run with him and kind of come together and bring both of our fans in the same room on this tour. So yeah, November 14th, it kicks off in Lawrence, Kansas. And then we'll end December towards towards I think mid December, we end the tour, and then album around there we'll be talking about.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Once you get like around like Ohio, Detroit, if you have anything out on the East Coast, we'll definitely link up and do something in person for sure.
Yeah, for sure. This leg is going to be more like Midwest to down south as well. Like we got Texas on there. But yeah, so that would probably be fall. We'll be there, man. That's what I said. We'll definitely catch up, and I'll come through in person, which is always the best.
Oh, absolutely. We find those interviews like it's funny. So like when we were going back with Damien, I don't know if you know Damien Styles, but he's independent he's from Kansas.
Okay.
He we had him first on just like this. And again, he was like this was supposed to promote his album, and then then he basically said, like, right before, he's like, you know what, I'm scrapping the album, I'm canceling it. I'm still gonna come on though, but I'm gonna scrap everything. And then when he redid his album, me and my girl, we drove out to Detroit, and he was on tour. We went out to Detroit. We did it in person. Went to their Airbnb. We did the episode in person, and it was it was so much better than just doing it. Like, this is cool and all, but like the in-person, the intimacy, this, that, the third, like, it's just, the vibe was way better.
Yeah, I'm a huge podcast guy, man. I love podcasts. It's one of my big, like, as far as being like on tour a lot, most weekends, even, if I'm not even on tour, we're going out and doing spot dates and we're driving, and I'm always listening to, whether it be Rogan, I don't know if you know Kill Tony, comedy podcast. Like, I love podcast, man. So it's commendable what you're doing. And on the same note, it's the same thing as the music. Like, if you got goals for this podcast, then you got to show up. Then you better turn your mic on. Then you better DM and email and get guests and do whatever you have to do to, this could be bigger, crazy statistic that a lot of artists don't want to hear. More people in 2023 on Spotify listening to podcasts overall than music. So, yeah, no artist wants to hear that. But
no, you're right. You're right. It's crazy. But I mean, bro, we've had some guests that are like, how the hell did we even get them? And people, but it's like showing up every day. It's DMing every day. It's responding to emails. Yeah. I mean, some guests I've worked with a year straight coordinating to get a guest. And like we've had some guests that are just fucking like, wow, like we're little people, and you're somebody's up there, but the fact that
Jehry Robinson. Oh, go ahead. Jehry Robinson on here, cuz.
What?
We got Jehry Robinson on here. What you talking about?
I'm gonna stop you with that though, with that little people shit, because I hate that, and I'm not disrespecting. I don't like that at all, because again, earlier on when I referenced saying like you have to have a knowing of who you are. So if your podcast may not be, the biggest podcast, that's okay. But when people say you're little, I just feel like when you put something into the universe, whether it be good or bad, when you project it with your voice and you say it every time, and just think of this, and you don't got to take this, of course, but every time you say it, it brings it closer. So if you say you are a little person or whatever, every time you say that, it becomes true. So to just refrain, even if you feel that way, try to refrain from that. And I tell that to people all the time, because we are all the shit. You are amazing. This podcast is amazing, dude. Y'all are going to be the biggest podcast in 2025.
Now, there you go, my dog.
That's it. And like, it's like, someone, if I say that, there might be a comment on this. Like, this is live right now? People are watching or no?
No.
Right? Yeah. So people might comment and say, yo, that's bullshit, right? It's like, okay, I'm a fight with that. And it's like every time you do it, you're reaffirming the possibility of it being the biggest podcast. So anyway, I don't want to go too much, but yeah, a lot of fans say that. Don't forget the little people. Don't forget.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I give them a hug and say, stop that. I love you. You're not little. Nobody's little. We're all shit, man. We could all do whatever the fuck we want. And
dude,
convinces us that we can. So I'm trying to be one person in people's lives and be like, bro, you can't. You got it.
Dude, I fuck with that. I appreciate that. Honestly, that it's really cool, man. It helps put a different perspective in your mind, So
Yeah.
nah, I got that.
Anytime you can be a podcast, think of being the greatest, being the biggest, doing everything you want to do. Do not waste any other thought on anything else. Try. That's not easy, but try to do that.
Right. Yeah. Before we wrap up, I want to tell a little story, and then I want to ask you guys the same question. So, for me, the question is gonna be like, how did you find out about Tech9ne? So for me, it's funny, real quick. I was like 11 or 12, and we you remember those green or those blue iMac computers?
Oh yeah. Okay,
like the big screen ones. Yeah, the old school ones. So my mom bought one at a yard sale, and so we picked it up and we took it home and hooked it up. And the only music that was on there was Tech9ne, and I had never heard of Tech9ne in my entire life. And I started listening to it, and I was like, again, I'm 12 years old. I'm like, holy shit, like this is so cool. Caribou Lou, like all this stuff, and I was like, man, so. And then ever since then, I fell in love with tech. But that's how I found him was literally just off of an old MacBook at a yard sale.
Shout out to whoever was downloading that. It was probably all stolen too. But
Swag. How did you learn about tech?
Oh man, so tech. I think the first record I ever heard was Fragile with Kendrick Lamar. So I was late to the party a little bit on that. But yeah, man, that really touched me because, just the idea of him being vulnerable, talking about, how sensitive, and Kendrick talking about how sensitive artists are, and coming on a hip hop track from this vulnerable, I'm sensitive and I care because, the hip hop culture is, we don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't tripping off nothing or whatever. So that was the first time, and it really hit me. But not until I started working with tech personally did I realize just how deep his catalog went, how many songs he has, dude. I think he has over 2,500 releases or something like crazy. So I'm still diving into tech's catalog, and I'm still learning. I hear songs all the time that I'm like, wait, this is tech? When did he drop this? You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of Tech9ne, and how long he's been out here and how consistent he's been. Crazy.
Yo, when he did the future with NF, on Trust, like that one was like, because NF, I've been following NF since NF like first, back when he was like on a Christian radio station.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that about him. He was a Christian rapper first, right?
Yeah, even though he claims he was never a Christian artist, but like his lyrics still, they still consider it. But I remember, follow. So then I'm like, damn, you got now you got Tech9ne on, you got Hobson on, like you got Big Sean on, like wow. So yeah, but I don't know, I love Tech's flow, especially seeing him in person, dude. It was like a fucking hype. I was like, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome.
Dude, it's absolutely an icon, and he did it in a very unique way, and not many people can say that they own their own brand, they own their own music, he owns everything, like even down to working with a label. Like if I have an idea, it's as simple as like having a meeting and saying, hey, let's do this, where there's no other companies and sponsorships you got to worry about and all this other stuff that a lot of artists got to deal with. You know what I mean?
Right. Swag, how did you hear about tech?
Man, I'll be honest with you. It's probably like 2019, 2020. I'm kind of new to all of it, with my lifestyle back in the day, being from Florida, man. I was old Tech Daddy Juvenile,
Oh yeah,
hey, Florida dude. So 2019, 20, once I started getting in recovery and started like kind of sober up some, man, and started really listening, broadening my music and my listening stuff outside of the old Florida stuff, ran across it. And like you said, man, that the lyrics and stuff that he's got really hit hard, and then you listen to it, and a lot of things resonate with me, like listening to Jehry songs and like you said, like Jelly Roll in 2020, man. When because I have a fake leg, Jerry. You don't know that, but I lost my leg in July 2020,
Wow.
and so yeah, and that's part of my story. Losing my leg saved my life, and so all that, like the last good 4.5 years, 5 years of my life, man, my music has really broadened out to, from to country to artists that mix them both, to rap to country, to see it mix and to see them go straight country and then rap. And I mean, it's very interesting. And that's why I said about you, Jerry, man, to find your niche and to find what really makes your soul burn and what keeps pushing, and for you to take all your things and say, hey, I'm packing all this up, and feel like, hey, whatever I believe in, this is where I'm going to go, because that's where I feel I need to be better and to meet them goals of selling 1 million records or having a #1 album or a #1 song. That's what I'm going to do. And that's the coolest thing about music, man, because music has saved my life in the last 5 years.
Shout out to you, man. That
really
sounds like
happy.
an insane journey that you've been through. You seem very grounded right now and focused from what I see, man. And I love to hear stuff like that, and in any way, in any profession, anything you do, there's people, whether it be that went through something similar you went through, or went through something similar you went through, or me. There's people out there that are going through those things that you maybe have, I won't even say defeated, but just kind of learned how to cope with or got better at, or sometimes completely left in the past. There's always people that are going through that at the moment. And you got to constantly remember that and say, when you're sharing your story or when you're telling people, it's like, you have to really imagine, like, man, I'm talking to a group of people who don't think anything could ever get better. And they're in that space. And I'm sure all of us in this room have been in terrible spots where you think, that's it. Life isn't going to get better. And it's nice to hear that, the music helps that journey, bro. Shout out to you.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Let the viewers know, where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they support streaming music, etc.?
Yeah, man. It's Jehry Robinson, Instagram, X, Facebook, wherever you could type it in there. Jehry, you could just type and then should come up. My name is Jehry Robinson. And yeah, man, I'm super grateful to be able to vibe with you guys, and you guys even give a shit about what I'm doing, man. And I don't care on what scale it is. I didn't even look this up. I don't know if it's big or small. This could be, this could have been Joe Rogan or you guys. It's all the same thing, bro. And I just know that you were persistent enough and had an interest in, coming here and doing this, bro. So I got you. And we're going to sit down and do it in person, man. For sure.
Absolutely. So to everybody that's listening, go follow Jehry, go show him some love, go follow the socials, stream the album when it comes out. As always, you can find us at the blacklistpodcast.org, BLAKLIST. Until next time, signing off.